Hey, welcome to a new Synth Anatomy video. July 7th is a big day in the synth world. Exactly 86 years ago, the audio engineer and synth pioneer Tom Oberheim was born, a developer legend who has moved a lot in the electronic instrument and music world, and he still works like a young man at his 86 years. There are very few were still active at that age. Wow, hats off. From Synth Anatomy, I wish you a happy birthday and thank you for everything. Gforce Software, the company owned by Dave Spears, known from the Sonic Talk videocast, and who brought us recently the Oberheim OBE, celebrates this day with an authentic emulation of Tom Oberheim's first official analog synthesizer, the Synth Expander Module, also known as SEM. Important to mention here, like the OBE, the SEM plugin was approved again by Tom Oberheim, which means that the developer can also use the official logo on it. So a collaboration of the two companies for second time. Before we take a closer look at the Gforce Oberheim SEM, here are some sounds that give you a first feel of the emulation. The user interface must be very familiar for you. It's a classic Oberheim SEM interface, which you know from the hardware, but now in software. You get the two VCOs, each with frequency control. Then you can choose for each VCO the waveform, either saw or pulse. Nice is here what on the SEM is that you can morph the different waveforms here from saw to pulse. This is made here very easy, so it's a mixture of both here, also for the VCO2. And you get also the VCO3, but later on this. Then you can apply here sync, and you can also modulate it either with frequency modulation, or you can also pulse width modulation, and this here with envelope 1 or LFO1, or with VCO3. This one is new in Gforce Software. As I said, later on this. The same applies to VCO2, but here you can also modulate with envelope 2. So like you know from the original Oberheim SEM, but with the addition of a VCO3. And you can also manually control the pulse width. So it's also here very classic. As I said, you can mix them, the waveforms here in the VCF section. So this is also a built-in mixer then. Then we get our very classic VCF here with frequency and resonance control. It doesn't really self-oscillate. That's something that on the Oberheim SEM is known. You can also modulate here the frequency with envelope 2, with the VCO3 and LFO1. And one of the special characters of the Oberheim SEM filter is the ability here to morph from low pass to high pass and also to notch. So it's a very classic way here to achieve unique sounds. Plus you have also a bandpass switch here. So like we know it from the classic Oberheim SEM hardware. Then we get two envelopes here with attack, decay and sustain, no release. Also here, like on the hardware. Then we get an LFO1 rate and also a sync option for the LFO. Then we see on the left side here the keyboard section. You can transpose it from -2 to +2. You can set it to mono or legato. Yes, the Oberheim SEM is mono and not polyphonic. So if you want something in poly, you need the OBE from Gforce Software. This one is unfortunately only on mono. Then you get an arpeggiator with classic directions, rate control, octaves, and different modes. You can see here play, up, down, and so on. And if you go further, you can see here there is also a sequencer built in. So we get two sequencers, sequence 1 and sequence 2. If you go here to sequence 1, you can here open the submenu and you get a sequencer here with the ability to record in. This is here very easy. You can also hear rests, hold, like you know from a classic sequencer. And what I really love here is that you can export the MIDI files or the sequences as a MIDI file to your DAW. That is also here made very easy. You take here and then you can export it. And that's something I really love here. Then we can close it again and you can see we get also portamento control for global or for the VCO2. Then we get vibrato with ratio and amount control. And there's also an additional mixing section here where you can add delay mix, reverb mix. There's only the SEM voice and the master. There are also effects here, so the delay and reverb. And all this can be set on the second page here. Before we switching to the second page, you can also see here that you get an undo and a redo function, but is also very useful here. And you get MIDI CC. And on the top, you get also classic preset browser with tons of sounds. Then we're switching to the second page, and what is cool here, Gforce Software gives you the option to use the second page in two different ways. Either you are using here the extend function, then the GUI becomes bigger. For some users it's maybe a better workflow. I love here the option to switch the interface with the flip function, so you can close it here and then you go here to flip and you can see then the second page. And the second page gives you more features and also features that are not available on the original hardware. Starting here with the VCO3, as you can see, you get also again a frequency control, you get saw, sine and square, so different waveforms here. Then you get an option of the mod source, then you can also modulate it and so on. And what is here cool, you can also set here the LFO rate. So you can also use the VCO3 as an LFO, what is pretty handy from using it as a modulator. And on the right side you get also the control over the LFO1 with different waveforms and so on. So you can see there are many different waveforms here, also more than on the original. Then you can retrigger and an intro function, so a kind of delay. And then you can see on the right side, you get also here an entire velocity section. So if you want to work with velocity, you can do it here very nicely because you can map the features to different parameters. So you have cutoff, mode, resonance, and so on. You can everything map here to the velocity. You can also map everything here to aftertouch, what is also very nice. There is also a filter track function, and you can see on the bottom again, you get the undo, redo, and CC functions also on the second page. And on the left side, you get additional functions like the tuning with band range and global. Then you get also full control over the delay and the reverb. For the delay, you get left and right. So it's a stereo delay with feedback control, a high pass filter, a sync function, and a mix. It sounds really nice. And for the reverb, you get also full control with size, decay, with a low pass, high pass filter, and mix. And reverb sounds also very huge here. And you get also level controls for the SEM and again for the master. So you can see you get here many new features on the second page that are not available on the hardware. And let's explore many more sounds. I think that was a large number of sounds from the new Oberheim SEM emulation by Gforce Software. If that's not enough, there's a second video with more sounds that didn't make into this review video. Let's come to the conclusion. The Gforce Software developers have also done a great job with the SEM. They kept the simplicity of the SEM by keeping it monophonic, easy to use, and bringing the very round warm sound to every door. But they didn't stick to the original design and have added a third oscillator, full control over velocity and aftertouch, an arpeggiator, double sequencer, beautiful sounding delay and reverb, and more. Everything that fits to the synth and doesn't distort the sound. And for me, it's also a perfect set of additional features. The developers provide also a large number of excellent vintage and modern sounds that beautifully showcase the character and the possibilities of the SEM, especially what the new features are making possible. Now, not everything is perfect. I have some criticism. One thing, there's no option to mark favorites in the preset browser, a feature I really like when I'm making videos. Even if it's a more polyphonic feature, MP support would be exciting, allowing you to modulate 3 parameters at the same time with a key, of course with an MP keyboard. Then some presets have a lot of effects, and choose a global FX on-off switch would also be very useful here. Polyphony would have been nice, but in this case the developers want to keep it strictly authentic to the original. If you need polyphony, then you have to use the OBE, but I will tell you a secret today, but won't tell it anyone. It's just for you. The OBE can also be used as a SEM synthesizer in mono mode, but don't tell it to anyone. All in all, the Oberheim SEM by Gforce Software is an excellent sounding synthesizer plugin. Compared to Brainworks Oberhausen or Arturia SEM V, I like this one better. I don't know why, I think it sounds more round and big, but it's a very personal opinion. The plugin is available now for an intro price of £29.99 plus VAT, so it's very affordable and will retail at £49.99 plus VAT later. Let me know in the comments below your first impression of the new Oberheim SEM plugin. It would be nice to hear your opinion. Big thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. It's free, it doesn't hurt you, and helps me a lot. Big thanks, and hope to see you again very soon in our next videos. Bye!